everybody, Perilous 3D here. Welcome back to the channel. I have been away for some time. I've been on a hiatus, but I am back, folks, and I'm back with Subnautica, starting up a brand new series here on this amazing game. If you haven't seen it, Subnautica is a sandbox type RPG based underwater. So the entirety of the game is spent, or most of it I should say, underwater, having fun, scuba diving, finding fish, finding all kinds of stuff to then craft with. Anyway, you know the game. If you're tuning in, you probably know it already, and you're going to discover it here real quick if you haven't already seen it. Now, a couple of things before we get going. Again, I apologize for my absence. It's really been crazy in my personal life, so I haven't had a lot of time to even play games, let alone make gaming videos, but I've got a little bit more time now. It is winter time. There's not really much to do on the homestead here, so I find myself with some free time to play some games. So that's what we're going to do here today. Now, I apologize in advance also if some stuff is not optimal here. As I'm getting things set up, if anybody's curious to see what sort of specs I'm running, I have a somewhat outdated system at this point. The processor is still good, but my system is able to play this on a fairly high quality, I think. But here are my settings, if anybody's curious. And then for the music, as much as I love Subnautica's music, I had to turn it down because it's too hard to compete with the sound. So the master volume as well, I may adjust that as we go if I find that it's too loud and it's drowning out my voice. But I've got a nice Yeti mic here, so everything should be good. And I think that's pretty much it. Here's my graphics settings if you're curious. It's just on the high setting. I didn't customize anything here, and most of this stuff at the bottom with the high setting is on medium. But it looks fantastic, and I'm getting 60 frames per second, so let's do it. Now, I've played this game a couple of times, but I've never really gotten too far. Main reason being that I keep dying, and even though you respawn when you die, I kind of I lose steam and I lose momentum at that point. So let's try our best this time around to not die, which is rule numero uno when it comes to you know, games in general, let alone survival. I'm not going to play on hardcore because I'm not that good yet, but eventually, you know me, if you've been watching this channel over the years, I love me some hardcore gaming because I find it adds an extra level of seriousness, and you really are careful in everything you do. But for now, we're going to start a survival game, survival series. So let's jump right into it. Again, I'm somewhat new with this game, so forgive me if I'm running around in circles or swimming around, as it were. But we'll figure our way out. It's going to build the world here. It's going to jump in. The camera placement as well, I'm going to put it at the top left for now, but if I find that that's in the way, I may move it eventually, but it seems top left was the best position for the camera. So here we go. Press any button to continue. I'm going to shut up now in case you haven't seen this game, and you can watch the intro.
Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship. Launch in 3, 2, 1.
Boom. Give myself whiplash doing that. Alright. Now the escape pod is on fire. You can take a wild guess at what you need to do first. If it's not already obvious. So, now we have control. I grab the fire extinguisher and put this fire out. I'm hot enough. Don't need no fire. Alright, so now that the fire's out, it's going to pull up our PDA. We're going to tap it because that's the, you know, universal sign for starting up a tablet. Tap, tap, tap. So we're booting into emergency mode. I've suffered minor head trauma. And even with minor head trauma, that's considered an optimal outcome. So.
To keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the databank for detailed survival advice. Good luck.
So one other thing I should say before we get going here is the editing on these videos is going to be very minimal because I want to focus more on you know, my actual gameplay time. So when it comes to crafting things and like that, I'm going to try and do that off camera between episodes so I don't bore you viewers with just mindless crafting. But here you can see we've got our tabs. Here we've got inventory, blueprints. Again, this is just for anybody that is not familiar with the game, but I'm sure most of you out there are already familiar with Subnautica. There's actually a sequel as well that we'll jump into on the channel eventually. But you can see all the stuff that we can make here or collect, or both. Titanium, titanium ingots, silicon, or silicone, bleach, batteries, filtered water, all that good stuff. One of the first things I try to get is the breathing apparatus so that I can stay underwater longer, which is probably a good idea. We've got a beacon manager. Not too sure what this does exactly, but let's make our life pod red so that it sticks out a little bit more. Of course, we want it to be visible. Beacons is not something I've messed around with too much, so I'm not sure how that works. Photo manager, that's if you want to take screenshots and review. I'm sure we'll do that at some point. If I want to review what they just said, yeah. Otherwise, there's the data bank here if I want to refer to blueprints and stuff like that. Or if I want to see what these particular tools do. So for example, it doesn't look like I have it available yet, but if I wanted to look at that breathing apparatus that I was talking about, it would be here. But anyway, daylight is a-burning, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing you should probably do is grab the med kit here, because those are on a timer and you want it to start making a new one as soon as possible. That much I do know. And the next thing is probably to go in your storage container here, dump off all the stuff you're not going to use. I like to save my water and my food, since these are good quality. I like to save those for when I really need them. I will take the torches with me just in case some bad guys, some evil ocean lurkers happen to take an interest in me. I can fend them off with this, or at least distract them so I can get away. The fire extinguisher I don't really need, but I'm going to keep it just so I can have some stuff on my toolbar. Should probably assign this as well. I don't want to use it, but I do want to switch. Let me see here. If I hit 3, is that gonna... Is that how you do it? 3? No, not working. What if I drag it down here? Would that work? No. Okay, so it looks like you can't have the first aid kit on your toolbar for some reason. That's fine. We'll leave it there. And was there anything else in here I need to grab? I don't think so. No, just water and food. So, once you've done that, again, this is not really a how-to. I'm just explaining to you guys what I do know about the game. So I'm going to hide that stuff so I can just be free-handed. This is the damaged radio that you can repair with your repair tool once you build that, and then it gives you communication options with, I'm not sure who exactly. The chair you don't really use, again, I don't think. This is the fabricator, so this is how you do your crafting. I don't really have anything to craft just yet, but we'll be doing that before long. And forgive me in advance if I hit escape instead of tab sometimes. It seems intuitive here to hit escape to get out of your PDA, but if I hit escape, it brings me to the menu. So you actually have to hit tab. But what's confusing is with your fabricator, you sometimes have to hit escape. See? So it depends on the machine that you're using, I guess. But here, to my point earlier that I was making, it's at 22% building a new health kit, so that's why you want to pick it up and have it start making a new one right away. Alright, so I've said enough. Let's go up top so we can see the little cutscene here. Whoa, there's shit flying around in the sky. Oh, there's my down ship. So this ship that's down here is called the Aurora. And apparently there's 0 human life detected on that thing. I totally forgot there's, I don't know if these are flying fish or they're actual aerial creatures, but I forgot there's actually stuff in the atmosphere as well. And then you can see some, I don't know if it's a moon or another planet off in the distance there. Now, one thing I've discovered in playing a few times is that if you go near the Aurora, you'll start to get radiation poisoning, so I'm going to stay away from it for the most part for now. One thing I really want to do before the sun goes down, you can see it goes down very quickly, is get myself some food. So let's try and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or get 2 birds stoned at once, and head towards this thing that's sticking out of the water. I don't remember what it is exactly, but let's try and do both. So swimming on the surface really does nothing for you. You can't see anything, you can't do anything interesting, so it's better if you're traveling to go underwater. Now normally I stock up on these guys, but there's really no point of having a full inventory of acid mushrooms, so I'm just going to grab a couple of them for now, maybe 3, and I think that's all I can grab for now from here. Bladderfish, which I see one in the distance here. These are very useful for making water, so I'm definitely going to grab one of those guys. And along the way, I'm just going to grab as many fish as I can to eat and also to discover them. See, I'm already running out of air. This is why I like to start with the breathing apparatus, which is right over here. This guy right here. I don't remember exactly what you need for it, but I'm pretty sure titanium is one of the ingredients. Here's some salvage material that I can pick up. That'll turn into titanium, I believe. There's a boomerang fish I can grab. Hey, come back here, you.
New creature discovered.
New creature discovered. And here is how we do some of our mining.
Copper is an essential component of all power.
So I got copper. I'm going to go grab some air.
Of survival has just decreased to unlikely, but plausible.
I've got really strong hands to be able to bust that open. Here are some floaters, which are other creatures and stuff you can make stuff out of. I don't remember what that makes, but I'll grab 3 of each just for good measure. Leave the rest. What's this over here? It's probably just more acid mushrooms. It's always good to check it out if you see something unusual. Yeah, it's just vein nettle. I'll be able to scan with my scanner here in a moment. So we're almost there. Let's keep going. See if we can discover anything else. That stuff I'll have to scan with my scanner. I don't really see anything else of interest. Those little tunnels are fun to swim through, but kind of pointless. Where's that thing that's sticking out? It was just this thing, isn't it? Okay. Well, let's jump inside and see what there is. Maybe there's something inside. If not, it'll just be good times going through it. Giant coral tube, which I can scan. But yeah, it's just probably to introduce you to the fact that you can go in these things, and you probably should, because sometimes there's hidden goodies inside. Whoa! Okay, that thing explodes, and it will hurt you badly, as it just did for me. Well, not too badly, but those guys do explode, and they will do damage to you, so be careful. Definitely something I'll want to scan as well. I'm going to scan all this stuff. But once you make that thing explode, you can then harvest the sulfur, and sulfur has a bunch of uses. There's some quartz, which has all sorts of uses as well. I don't want to stay down here for too long, because one of my main goals on this series is not to die. As you can imagine, it's important not to die. So, once, basically, my strategy is going to be to go for a breath of fresh air before I get the warning. So, at the absolute latest, I'm going to wait until 1/4 of my oxygen is left, and then I'm going to make my way back to the surface to ensure that I don't screw around and die. Again, you can die and you just lose the last of the things that you collected since the last time you were at your base. Did I explain that right? That probably didn't make any sense to you, but what I mean by that is basically going back to your base or your little pod saves things. So if you go out for a venture, and typically I don't like to go out as much. I do my crafting at night just to minimize on getting attacked and stuff. I can't really see as well. So by going inside my little pod here, that saves it. That saves, I don't know if it saves the game. I think you actually have to save manually to save. But as far as saving your inventory in case you die, going back to the pod saves your stuff. So now if I went back out again and I collected a bunch of stuff and then died, I would only lose that stuff that I collected during that little outing. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. So, I'm going to be ready for food here soon, so I'm going to... Is this ready? Not yet, but that'll be ready probably in a moment. And I don't know if I mentioned it already or not, but I'm going to try and keep these videos under a half hour so that they're not too extensive, but you know, long enough that we can get some progress done and action and all that good stuff. So let's store some things in the container here. I'm not sure what the floaters are for, so I'm going to store those guys for now. Some of this other stuff I can cook, turn these into water as I mentioned. The acid mushroom, I don't know if I can do anything with that just yet, but I'll keep it on me. Let's go to the, see, I just did it. I told you it was going to happen. Let's go to the fabricator and see what we can make. So one of the first things obviously is titanium, which is the salvaged metal. That's where it comes from. Getting low on food, so I'm gonna have to make some grub soon. Oh, batteries, that's it. You need at least 2 batteries for one item. I don't remember what it was, maybe the breathing apparatus. So let's make 1 at least for now, and then I'll go get some more acid mushrooms next time I go out. Power cell. Yes. You can do all kinds of stuff with that. Let's make some water. And again, as I mentioned, I'm going to try to do a minimal amount of fabricating and crafting on air. I'm going to do that stuff between episodes. Again, not to bore the viewers, because nobody wants to watch me craft for 15-20 minutes. And sometimes that's what you got to do. So let me cook up some peeper. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? I'm going to cook up my peeper.
The fabricator cooks small organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
What a handy-dandy machine this is.
Accustomed to synthetic foods to be repulsed by eating an animal carcass. Remember that humans survived this way for millennia.
You can too. You can do it! You can do it all night long! So I could cure these guys as well. If you don't, that just keeps rising and rising until I don't remember what stops it, if anything. I was about to say, you can cure the fish in order to preserve it long term. If you don't, it slowly decomposes and becomes less and less useful. So, oh, I can make it. All you need is a titanium for the standard O2 tank. So let's go ahead and make that, because that is vital. Denoted by the noise. Boom! And that means it's a very useful tool. I could make pipes and a floating air pump, but I don't need that just yet. And here's a scanner. Wow, we're off to a great start so far. I've got my scanner.
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints.
Scanning as well. I'm going to try to do that, keep it down to a minimal. Of course, if I'm out on a mission or an adventure, I'm going to scan stuff, but I'm going to try not to bore you viewers as well with too much scanning, because, again, nobody wants to watch that. Flares, I'm good for now, so I'm going to keep the sulfur and just hold on to it. That's pretty good for now. Let's put away stuff that we don't need, but first, let's top up. I'm starting to get real hungry. The hunger thing, as I recall, is one thing that you can actually go above 100%. So, when it comes to, I think it's hunger and... I want to say hunger and health. You can actually go above 100. So let's see. If I eat the boomerang.
Vital signs stabilizing.
And eat the Gary fish. And eat the peeper. I didn't have enough to go over 100, but I'm pretty sure you can. Might as well drink some water while I'm at it. A couple of bottles should do for now. And we're looking pretty good. So I'm going to use my first aid kit just so I can top off. And it looks like health is another one of those things where you can go above 100. So, that's good for now. Is this done? Yes. You want to grab that as often as you can so it can start making a new one. So let's keep that on us because that's important. I'm going to make this my number 1. I'll make this my number 2 and this number 3. I'm going to put away the water, I think. Yes. I'm going to keep the acid mushroom because I need that to make another battery. I don't recall for what exactly, but they are important. I'm going to put this stuff away. And I think that's good for now. Actually, I'll leave the mushroom here. Blueprints, I've got more. As you discover things, as you make things, you unlock more stuff that you can make. And let's just clear those off so that it's not telling me there's something new. What is the other last thing here? This kind of stuff too I don't want to do too much of on air. There we go. Voice log, I'm definitely not going to do those again, but there they are. If you need to refer back to them. Okay, so I think we're ready for another adventure here. Let's jump in the water. don't know if it's still dark, but we're gonna find out here in a moment. Yep, it's still dark. So let's do a little. Oh no, it's daytime now. So I'm gonna go grab some more fish for hunger, and I'm also gonna do some scanning. These guys, you gotta watch out. You don't get too close because they will drop some poison in the water, and the little poison sacs explode and do damage to you. So I'm just gonna scan this guy from a distance. The gasopod. I'm guessing they're very stinky when they explode like this, and they make weird ass noises. Come on, man! I'm just scanning you. Don't worry about it. Water's always good. This thing I don't think I have yet. Scan that guy. You can't pick it up, but I can scan it. Shuttlebug. Scan all this stuff. Grab a couple more of these for my battery. Writhing weed. Coral shell plate. This, I believe, also unlocks things. So by scanning stuff, sticking to my guns there for my strategy of not dying. But I'm pretty sure by scanning things you actually unlock other potential crafting stuff, perhaps? I'm not exactly sure. But it's never a bad idea to scan every new thing that you come across, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. Let's scan the metal salvage first, then pick it up. And I think you can even scan the mineral deposits, if I can find one. Can I not scan these little things? No, guess not. Table coral I've already scanned. Getting here. Blue palm. I think you can collect that later on, but I'm not sure. Okay, I think that's good for now. Let's go get some air. I saw another little salvage down here somewhere, right here. And these boxes you're really going to be on the lookout for, because inside there's all sorts of useful things. See, that allowed me to progress towards some type of a new recipe of some kind. Pick that up. And I don't want to go too far. At the beginning I like to just stick around the pod, not go too far. See if I can scan this little ray here. Come back. Oh, giant coral tube. Alright. Rabbit ray. Don't know what else you can do with this besides scan it, but you can't pick it up or touch it. Peeper. Did I not scan the peeper already? I guess not. Come back, peeper. And the bladder fish. I definitely want to scan one of those. Let me pick you up. I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you. Scan the Gary fish. What a funny name. Gary the fish. Oh no, my strategy. Made it up without taking damage. It's a close one. Where's my pod? Whoa, I'm on the complete other side. Okay, I didn't think I was anywhere near that. Let's scan this bubble bladder fish. I'll grab it as well. Bubble bladder. He's got bubble butt. So I think this, oh, boomerang. Boomerang. There we go. And all this stuff I've scanned. I wanted to actually scan one of those mineral deposits if I can find one. Usually they're hanging out around here somewhere, like on the inside of little cave systems like this. I'm surprised I haven't found one yet, actually. So we'll head back to the surface. And there you can see I've made my pod red, which I find it sticks out a little bit more like that, so I'm going to keep it that way. Let's go inside the giant coral tube just for giggles. That was fun, wasn't it? What's this over here? Can you scan these? No? I wonder why you can't scan those. Anyway, so there's gotta be a mineral deposit around here somewhere. I usually don't have to look too hard to find it. No! Oh, he got me. Indigenous life form, kablooey. There's one. Limestone chunk. So that's going to give me what? Quartz? Copper? I didn't see what it was. I think it was copper. But every mineral deposit I think will be scannable. So let's see if I can find another one for now. But I'm going to get ready to start heading back, and then we're going to wrap up episode 1 already. Time flies when you're having fun, guys. There's a creature egg I can't scan, but I can pick it up. Can't scan that one either. No, I'm going to take damage. I'm already damaged anyway. Damaged goods. Go grab this. It's limestone, that's why. Okay. And I could probably scan the quartz. No, I can't. That's funny. Can't scan the quartz for some reason. Okay, well, I've done... been pretty productive here. It's been a good first episode. Let me grab some more of this stuff, so I'll have stuff to craft with. Wow, look at this. Look at this little deposit. Little node. Little cluster. Now, this is a huge tube. If that's even what it is. Now I'm gonna start running out of air, so I can't stay down here for too long. But that's a good little section to come back to. We have to take note of where this is. I don't know if there's a map. No, I don't think there is a map. Or at least I don't know how to activate it. Let me take note, get my bearings here so I can find my way back to this spot. So it's roughly back maybe 130 meters this way. So I should be able to find my way back. And as I make my way back and start wrapping this one up, I'm going to grab maybe a couple more mushrooms just in case I want to make some more. Take you with me. And I think that's it. So, really good first episode. Hope you're enjoying it so far and that you'll continue to join me for these other upcoming episodes in our series. And yeah, feels good to be back. Feels good to be back. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, what you're up to, what you've been doing since I was last on the YouTubes. And yeah, so we'll end it here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.